Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into the COVID-19 lockdown account. Now, today I've got Sarah with me. Sarah is an inspiration coach as well as a spiritual life coach and is currently locked down with a young son. So, Sarah, how are you doing today?
Hello, Joey. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm doing really good actually, and the baby is asleep as we speak, so that always helps to give me a bit of brain space.
No, perfect, perfect. And how are you getting on with just day-to-day life, I suppose?
Well, to be honest, it's not been that much different for me because, like, my son is quite young, so he's 19 months old, and we spend a lot of time indoors anyway, with aside from nursery and so on. And we're lucky we've got a garden, so I kind of take him on rotation of the house. So we have the different toys in the different rooms, and then we can go in the garden. And one of his things is like water play. He loves me to fill up his old baby bath, chuck loads of water in there and some toys and stuff. So it's actually working out all right for us here. I've got to be honest. I'm not struggling too much.
No, it definitely. You seem to be in very good spirits. And for those of you that are watching or listening, depending on what platform, we've already had about a 20-minute chat before this even started, which was lovely. So I want to know a little bit about what you're currently pushing yourself towards. If you've got anything that you're focusing on or doing right now.
Yeah. Everything's happening at once here for me. So I have somehow just suddenly found myself in this place where everything is happening at once, right? And I am just so excited. I'm literally so excited. So what happened was, as this lockdown kind of came into play, I decided to pull away from one of the other businesses that I've been working on because I uncovered this natural gift for helping people, right? And it's something that I've thought about for, like, I don't know, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I look so youthful, I know. But yeah, I've been thinking about life coaching for about 20 years, right? But never ever pursued it. And just before this lockdown, I thought, you know what, this is it. I'm going to do it because I just felt my soul calling to me, like, this is it, Sarah. That this is what you're meant to be doing. This is your gift to share with the world. And so I started looking into it more and more and more. Well, the lockdown happened, and that has actually been a blessing for me because it's made me more focused, right? So where before I might have had the distraction of maybe taking Chase to the park, or that's my son, or taking him to Tesco just to pass the time to get him a bit of exercise. Now I'm forced to be here. And so I've been, managing to get a lot more done than what I probably would have done. And because I've got this excitement, like, it's making me want to do it more than what I would do. Like sometimes when you think you've got to do something, you kind of drag your heels a bit and you procrastinate, and I'll just have this biscuit first and all that stuff. But because I'm so buzzing for it, because I just absolutely know this is where I'm meant to be, these ideas are just coming to me, and just different people are coming into my life that I'm literally every day I'm mind blown by something. And so this has been actually a really good time for me for setting up my business.
Yeah, well, brilliant. And I suppose, yeah, you've got nothing but that to focus on, which is superb. That
Yeah.
is your only option right now. And I even said to you a quote that just before we started that if you want to take the village, you have to burn your boats, which is a Tony Robbins quote.
Right,
Uh,
right.
which pretty much refers to if there's no way out, if there's nowhere else to go, and it's
Yeah.
either that or die, then you'll do it 9 times out of 10, or you'll die.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a person that has a tendency to want to do everything. So I have a severe case of shiny new object syndrome. Like, I'll hear about something, I'm like, oh, I must know about that, and I want to learn everything about it. And so it's very easy for me to get distracted and go down 1,000 rabbit holes. So the consequence of that is that I know a lot, and I know a little about a lot of things,
Yeah.
which, that suits me because I'm a person that's interested in a lot of things. But, when you just want to focus on one thing, it wasn't serving me to have like 3-4 separate businesses. So I've had to really just look at it and go, right, okay, where is your heart? What is your gift? And just follow that and just go all in and abandon everything else. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
No, great. And I suppose when you said that you're kind of experiencing a bit of abundance at the moment when it comes to that part of your life, it's probably
Yeah,
because you've subconsciously been surrounding yourself with 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 the people that you want to help your whole life anyway.
yeah, absolutely. And, I just think now that I have got in touch with what it is I'm supposed to be doing, like the universe or God, or whatever you want to call it, is just like working with me and just putting the right events, the right circumstances, the right people, right ideas into my path, and just helping me to move from one step to the next. So, for example, even having this conversation with you today, the lady that introduced us came into my path through Facebook. She'd messaged me to ask her to help her with something else, something completely separate. And she's now become a really, really good friend of mine. And this is only 6 weeks ago. And she's become a really good friend of mine. And she's become a client for 2 separate businesses of mine, which, you know, it's unprecedented. You couldn't make this stuff up. And she has taught me so much about me. And I've really helped her to move forward in her life as well with my coaching. So, you know, this is just one example.
Yeah, yeah, which is great, and especially if you dial in on the kind of people that you're going to be the most motivated to help.
Totally.
Because let's face it, I mean, we've all had those clients in the past, and I know, you know, you've had other businesses that we discussed briefly earlier, that we're probably not going to touch on, but we've all had people that we just don't gel with, we don't click with, but we do what we do because they've paid us, but for no other reason. And you know, it doesn't make you a bad person, or it doesn't really make you a failure. What it does do is just highlight the fact that you can do such a better job when you have dialed into a specialist demographic.
Oh my days, yeah. So like for me, it's been the mum journey has been the most eye-opening of it all. Like to be a mum, to have that label is such a responsibility, such an honour, such a blessing,
Mm.
such a gift, but equally, you know, it's very easy to get lost underneath it, like, you know, just be just the mum or whatever. Because you just go all in, you know, you're on call 24/7, there's no break, and you're in a day, you're a cook, you're a teacher, you're a nurse, you know, you're everything. You wear all these different hats, and before you know it, it's kind of easy to think, well, what about me? What do I want? You know, and to feel that frustration where you think, ah, well, like, can't I just have 2 minutes to myself to do something for me? And that's where I'm at with wanting to help people, so to get them out of that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've, I know that both me and my wife have been in a very similar place, and you know, we've embraced being parents and stuff. I mean, but I've got sucked into the kind of the business owner route, and she got sucked into the more the mum route, and we kind of felt like, I suppose, not losing our identity, but finding our identity was changing, and
Yeah.
we focus more on each other now, which is great. Which was kind of an epiphany we both had,
Mhm.
and you know, we never took each other's problems seriously because we didn't look at it from their point of view. And then when we
Yeah.
both sat down and had a chat about it, we were like, wow, that's okay. So now Jen, my wife, well, when we are open, the gym that is, she's got more involvement there, and I've got more involvement at home. So it works really well. And
Fabulous.
yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's slightly different this end because I'm a single mum, so everything's kind of on me, you know, and to make it work and just to be, you know, I think social media puts a lot of pressure on us as well as parents. I mean, even for you as a
Oh,
father, like, you know, you go on Facebook and everybody's got this picture perfect lives and, you know, look at me with my son and we're having so much fun and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And, you know, for me personally, sometimes the guilt, I think, you know, oh, I should be doing more with Chase. Like people are setting up these sensory play things for their kids and blah, blah. And I'm like, me and him just crawl around the house like screaming at each other in a fun way
yeah.
and you know, just playing chasing games and stuff and reading books. And that's basically it. And so it's very easy to compare yourself to other people. And actually, I saw someone put a post up the other day. So she put this picture of herself, the mum, and it looked beautiful and serene. And in the actual text, she said, "Don't be fooled. At my feet is a screaming child, and my son is like wrecking the bathroom upstairs." And I just thought, you know what? Good for you, girl, because that is just so real. Like if you saw the picture, you'd just think,
Mm.
oh, you know, everyone else is nailing this, and I'm like, I haven't brushed my hair for about 3 days, and, and the children won't stop screaming because that's what we do, isn't it? We compare ourselves to other people.
I think there's definitely a movement, a big online, I'd say, which is being pushed by women, a big movement to celebrate each other more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Female empowerment is where it's at right now,
Yeah, and
definitely.
I think rightfully so. I mean, the thing is, when it, like, for me personally, obviously I'm not a woman, but I know I have, and I'm constantly in touch with a lot of sport mates and stuff like that. And I know a lot of guys have got this kind of like work click and sport click,
Yeah,
and I think where a lot of mums find themselves pulled away from that click when they have to go on maternity, and they don't go into quite the big group sport things
yeah,
as much as men do, which I think that's also changing as well, which is, I'm pushing my daughters into that. That is needed a lot more for women than it is for men right now. That big support each other, work more in a team environment, and celebrate each other, as opposed to this. It's kind of, I don't know, when early days of like The Only Way Is Essex and Geordie Shore and all that kind of Kim Kardashian stuff came in, and everyone was just like a bitch to each other. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's gone full circle now. It's gone full circle, which needed.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I think, women are really champions for women a lot more nowadays, most definitely. And actually, I'm part of a summit that's being brought to the internet next month, and it's called It's Our Time, and it's about female empowerment. So, keep an eye out for that. There's just lots of exciting stuff that is happening at the moment around this topic. And I think, as well, part of it is that as women, especially if you're a first time mum like I am, I went through some stuff earlier on in the year, or maybe at Christmas time, where I just felt like I wasn't coping very well. But because you don't know that that's normal, or normal, I should say, right? You don't speak out about it. So, like, I was feeling like I can't cope. I was feeling like, every day, and, really getting into a place where I was getting quite depressed. But because I felt ashamed that I was shouting at my son, and I was feeling like I can't cope, I didn't tell anybody because I thought it made me look bad.
Yeah.
But actually, once I did speak out about it, I realised that I'm not the only one. And, there are lots of other women out there. As soon as I put it out there, I made a video on Facebook Live, don't ask me why, I just felt inspired to do so, and I did.
Good.
Many people, Jerry, messaged me and contacted me and rang me and said, Sarah, do you know what, you're not on your own, don't feel bad, you're a great mum, and blah, blah, blah. And the support it flooded in, it absolutely flooded in. And I think if there's anything that anyone takes away from this today, is just to always speak out about where you are, because the judgment that you think is going to come, it doesn't. It just doesn't. You are judging you. Nobody else is.
Mm. Yeah, and the picture perfect profile, the avatar that people put out there about themselves, you're so right, is not true. And I think people, once they start that cycle of pretending, they then have
Yep,
to keep that level.
of course.
It can't be done. It makes
No. Important for me, even though I'm a coach, I'm a coach, and so of course my job is to be positive, and I'm naturally that person anyway, hence I do the job. But for me personally, one of my principles is just to keep it real, and so I share I don't want to say bad stuff, I share the stuff that's not so easy, or the stuff where I have stumbling blocks or obstacles as well. And I'm quite shameless about that, and it's been quite a big deal, because I do think to myself sometimes, how can you be a coach and tell people to do X, Y, Z when you're struggling with it yourself? But you know what? In teaching other people, in sharing it with other people, this is how I learn myself as well. And it's important to me to be real and to be authentic, and this is how I do it.
Well, yeah, it makes more sense, if anything, because you can't teach someone to climb a mountain unless you've climbed the mountain. So you've got to go through the hard stuff first.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so, although, sometimes I think, oh, should I share this? I just think, do you know what? It's my truth. My truth is my truth, and that's it. And I stand by it. And that's something I've really learned, especially since the lockdown, is to know who I am. What is my message? What is my truth? What is my soul calling? And what am I all about? And I feel like I've developed so much as a person in these last few weeks. I can't even put it into words.
So,
It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's madness to see how different. Obviously, you are the 53rd interview I've done now, and it's crazy to see. Number 53. How different people are coping right now. I've had people that are in a really good place, really, and the bravest people have done interviews with me are the ones that weren't, and they were very much towards the early stages of the podcast. So the first week and the first 10 days, those guys and girls were the ones that were brave enough to come on, and I thank them so much, and they're in a better place now. It's a real hard instant adjustment, because it was just everyone staying at home. That was it, done. That was
To the
it.
system, no.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, it's mad to show how diverse and how different humans are. It's
Of course.
amazing, absolutely amazing.
And that fascinates me. And that's part of why I do what I do as well, because just, I've always been fascinated by all things human psyche and, you know, how we all respond to different things and what we take from it. And, you know, you and I could see exactly the same thing happen in front of us, but we have two different versions of events. And it's not that one of us is lying or making something up, it's just how we interpret things. And
Yeah.
that is so fascinating.
So moving on,
Yes.
let's talk about some of the things that you've noticed. So we're in week what, 8 now? I think it must be week 8. Yeah, last week. Yeah, yeah, it is week 8. So what kind of things are you seeing around you now? What kind of differences do you think that you want to stick around? Is there anything that you're focusing on?
So the difference is, I did a Facebook Live about this the other day, funny enough. It's just that I've really noticed so many people just really coming into their own, and myself included, right? And so by that, what I mean is, you know, really dialing into what are their gifts, what is their purpose, what makes them happy, you know, because we're spending a lot of time with ourselves right now, like more so than we probably ever have. And those people that are, you know, feeling lonely, or they look to others to kind of validate themselves or to, you know, fill up time in a day, those are going to be the people that are probably struggling a little bit more than somebody like myself, who loves being with me and will use every minute of every day to read something or learn something or whatever. And so I've just really noticed so many people just giving and giving and giving, like stuff online for free, giving away, I don't know, coaching sessions, giving away ebooks, giving away lessons in how to do XYZ things. Cookery is one thing that I've really noticed,
Yeah,
you know. And so what I've learned during this time is to just keep an eye out for what's going on around me, to A, give me ideas for myself and how I can develop, and to be, you know, just see, to just appreciate the abundance of stuff that's everywhere, that just is everywhere. If you want whatever you want, it's at your fingertips. Even at this time, it's at your fingertips.
yeah. You know what? Humans are really, like, obviously there's a lot of different people, but I choose to surround myself with as much positivity as possible. Um,
Yeah,
I'm a big advocate of the mute and unfollow, not the delete, but the mute and unfollow on Facebook. The moment there's like consecutive negativity from someone, it's snooze 30 days and then reevaluate when they come back on.
yeah,
I'm completely selfish from myself, but I need to be propelling my positivity, so I can't have it pulling me back. So I do reach out to people if I think they're in a real bad place, but
mm-hmm.
it's probably you'd be a better person to do that than I would, because I'm just a sweaty fitness bloke, so can't really long and short of it. But you know, I have noticed a lot of positivity, a lot of free stuff. You know, we're giving out free stuff as well, and
Absolutely.
it's amazing.
And I think, you know, all of that ties in with where we are right now. So today is the start of Mental Health Awareness Week. And the theme for that is kindness. And I think there's just been so much kindness online, especially of late, just more and more and more. You know, big leaders are putting on free summits, free, you know, free events and stuff, where to just raise the vibe of the nation. They don't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I just think, you know, we can be grateful and really take advantage of this stuff and become better people for it.
So give me some examples of some of the things, because I saw Alan Sugar, I saw I think Richard Branson, who hasn't had the best press of lately, but they've been doing a lot of free stuff with a company that I've bought some stuff off in the past.
Yeah.
I think Richard Kiyosaki's doing some stuff. I think Tony Robbins doing some stuff. What kind of stuff have you seen?
So I'm not talking about necessarily these big names like you are. I'm talking about just Joe Blogs from next door, right? So, for example, for me, I had I had two conversations with a lady who is like an emotional freedom coach. Okay, we spoke for less than 2 hours. In that time, she really drilled down and gave me a massive revelation about why I make myself so busy, right? So what was happening was I was just putting things in my way, in my way, in my way. So I was doing more and more and more and more stuff. And I was getting more and more stressed out because there wasn't enough time to do it all. And also when my son is awake, you know, you're trying to just do one thing and he wants something. And that was my frustration. And I found myself getting to a point of overwhelm, right? within the space of like an hour, hour and a half, this woman has said to me, what are you running from? And I suddenly thought, do you know what it is? I had this realization that actually I don't know what I'm doing as a mum. And this is a subconscious thing. Yeah. I've never been a mum before. How the heck do I know what a 1-year-old wants? Do you know what I mean? But I realised I was making myself so busy so that I didn't have to feel inadequate, so that I didn't feel like I was failing him,
Yeah.
so that I didn't feel like he was bored with whatever it was I was playing with him, which is ludicrous, obviously, in the big scheme of things, because you only learn as you're going along.
Mm.
But I had no idea that that is why I was making myself to a point of overwhelm. And this is the kind of thing that I mean that you can take advantage of. That that's a huge revelation, and she just gave me that for free,
Yeah.
and that will make a difference in my life every day for the rest of my life. So that's just one example, as I say.
That's amazing. I've
It is.
no, I can relate, and I'll probably talk to you off screen about some bits that's happened recently, and very very similar. A good friend of mine that I actually did a podcast with a little while about a couple of days ago, and I've decided to do some work with her to kind of work a little bit deeper to work out what my real desire is. So that's always something I've struggled with. I enjoy the process too much. That's my problem. I enjoy doing. I enjoy the building the business. I like going to work. I like all of that, and that's hard because that's not meant to be the one. That's not meant to be the bit you like, but I do. So yeah. So okay. So we're going to look at little things that you've noticed as well, just in day to day life. So as opposed to like things that you're viewing and stuff.
Yeah.
What's changed for you just in your day to day life?
So in my day-to-day life, I'm making more trips to the fridge. This is not a good thing. So I've realised that I'm like an emotional eater. And if I'm stuck, I eat. If I'm bored, I eat. If I'm angry, I eat. So I've piled on nearly a stone during this lockdown. So that's one thing. And I don't really understand it because I work from home anyway. So this isn't a different scenario to me. So I don't get that. But anyway, that's one thing that I've noticed. It's something that I need to be aware of. Another thing that I've noticed is I've learned to be more grateful about stuff. Like when we go to Tesco, it takes us 2 hours because Chase now wants to walk everywhere. And so that takes a dog's age. And then obviously there's the whole queuing malarkey going on outside, the social distancing and that. And so I've learned to be more grateful for, just the times that we've had previously where we're just able to just go into a shop and where there's just loads of stuff on the shelves, and if we want to leave our house we can do, and if we want to stay indoors we can do. Just gratitude has been a big thing for me during this time.
It makes you feel a lot better as well, doesn't it? I went shopping yesterday, and I spoke to you earlier about something that we're setting up, and I was in a very similar position. The missus said to me, the wife, she said, "Oh, can you go shopping?" And I said, "Oh, come on." I just done about 20 hours of work over the weekend. I was absolutely exhausted, and it was the middle of the day. And then I thought, well, you know what? I've got to go all the way home, and then she can go shopping. And I thought, just get over yourself. You're going past the shop anyway, so go in. And I went in, and yeah, I was really missing being at home. But at the same time, I kind of thought, I'm going to be here for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Last week, I didn't leave the house to do anything other than walk the dog, and that was half an hour once a day. And now you're complaining in your head that you're out of the house for 2 hours, And then I just started appreciating it. I was standing in the sun, I was enjoying it, I was walking around the aisles, and just that mental change. Done.
Exactly. Just take one little positive thought or one little kind of reframing of the situation to just move you into a completely different space, doesn't it? And the other day when I was going to Tesco as well with Chase, and he was walking, it's the first time that it had rained and he felt it on his face, because before then he was a baby and he was in his pushchair and I'd have the cover down and so on. Jerry, seriously, he loved it. This was like the best thing ever, feeling the rain on his face, and then seeing him enjoying that so much just makes you so grateful for the small things. I just think, who knew there could be so much enjoyment about feeling the rain on your face? And then I thought, this is the first time he's ever felt it. Like, this is a big deal for him.
Because I don't think, the mad thing is, the way we used to live previously before lockdown, you wouldn't have noticed that probably, because it would have just happened in the garden or something. It would have just happened, and that would have been it.
I know, I would have been in a rush to get wherever I'm going because we need to be doing the next thing and so on. But now, because I'm so much more aware of just being in the moment, being present with him, and it literally, Tesco is like maybe a 13-minute walk at my speed. It takes us about 45 minutes at his speed. Where historically I would have been like, come on, we need to get back. Mummy's got to do this and do that. And now I'm just like, oh yes, okay, yeah, that balcony that we have seen 75,000 times before. Oh, ha, 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 isn't it lovely? You know, and I really buy into it with him because it's just so fascinating. And if you can be grateful for those small things, it just changes your day, changes your outlook, changes your life.
The other thing as well is leaving any form of the outside world at home. Like my phone stays, stuff like that stays whenever I take it out. But you know what? Someone said something very, very funny to me. Just about just it was. I just found it quite sweet and amusing, and it was from a previous podcast. Guy called Lloyd that I've worked with quite a bit, and he said that for the past 2 weeks they've been walking past the same dead bee that's been on the floor, and where his little girl has been quite moved by it, has been giving like a flower each day, and then a bigger, and it was like this little dead bee with a shrine of like flowers around it, where it's just got bigger, bigger, bigger. I just thought it was quite, yeah. Which I think I would like to see a lot of this mindfulness be taken into the future. I think.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's such a big deal. It really is, and it just changes everything. You can just be present in the moment and appreciate it, because that's all we've ever got, isn't it? Yesterday is gone. We haven't got tomorrow. We're only here. That's it. So you may as well enjoy it, because that's all you've ever got.
Yeah, I like that, and yeah, and that works very well when it comes to grounding yourself with mental health and. I mean, yeah. It's we do. So I mean, we're going to come towards a bit of the end of the close. I don't want to, but we will. So we're going to go into the advice bit. So I asked everyone the same question, and I have pre-warned you, but there are a few people I haven't pre-warned, and I feel really bad when the question comes. But don't worry, give a bit of time with this one. So Sarah, right at the beginning, so we're 8 weeks from when we started lockdown. If you go back to yourself and say, right, Sarah, and then give yourself a piece of advice, like grab yourself by the shoulders and whisper something in your ear or even shout it, what would you say?
Just that you are doing your best. Just know that you're doing your best and that you are enough, right? You don't need to take on the world. You don't need to prove anything, and you don't need to try and be better. You are enough as you are, and you're doing a great job. That would be what I would want myself to understand, because I've done so much in this time, and it's been really, really good. Equally, as I alluded to earlier, so at times it's been overwhelming, and it's been at the cost of spending time with my little boy, when this would be a really good time to be enjoying that time with him. Don't get me wrong, we've had loads of time together, obviously. My advice to myself would be to just know that you're doing enough, that you are enough as you are, exactly as you are.
Oh, that's amazing. And we will close on that one. I think that's quite poignant enough, and I think we can all definitely relate to that. And yeah, we do all need to be a lot kinder to ourselves, realize that your best is good enough. And I think that's a big enough message for today. So Sarah, thank you very much. I'm going to say goodbye to this lot that are listening, and if you stay on, I'll have a little chat with you afterwards. So guys, thank you so much for watching or listening, depending on what platform you're using today. If anything that you've heard today or listened to has resonated with you, and you really do like what you heard or you like what you hear, please do give us a comment below. Keep it clean and very much keep it kind. Okay, we'll get back to you. Also, if you'd like some more information about what Sarah does, please do get in touch. I'm going to put all of the links towards what Sarah does, like her profiles and platforms and all the stuff she's happy to share, in the show notes. So please do get in contact with her. Also, guys, if you really do think that this could help someone in your kind of close circle, please do use social media for the good stuff, and press that share button so other people can experience what you've just experienced today. And also, if you do feel like you have a voice and it needs to be heard right now, get in contact with me via ABC Gym, or just send us a message or comment in the show notes, because I'm still on a mission to interview 100 people during the COVID-19 lockdown. Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you so much for listening and watching, guys. See you later.